I'm Professor Pamela Kearns. I'm Chair of Paediatric Oncology at the University of Birmingham in the UK, and I was President of SciUp Europe when this project started, and I have been the project lead for UNICA4EU. So the UNICA4EU project has been a fantastic opportunity to develop a granular understanding of the landscape for developing artificial intelligence tools for the benefit of children with cancer. And we've looked at the opportunities where it might help, as well as some of the massive challenges that are both practical, legal and ethical, working with all stakeholders that are involved. So this project has brought together people with very different understandings of paediatric oncology and artificial intelligence, and one of the major achievements is us developing a common language that we all understand our different perspectives, and that has led to a really cohesive group that has managed to look at all the challenges that are generic in the development of artificial intelligence, which are well known across the medical community, but then the specificities are where the challenges sit with childhood cancer. And through the project we've developed use cases where we can really look in practical terms where AI may help in terms of improving outcomes. We've looked at where the data are, and some of the challenges over the fact that childhood cancer is rare and those data sets are not large. So in order to develop AI tools, we need to think better how to develop federated data sets and how we think differently about AI tools. And I think they have been some of the major achievements of the project. Collaborations and partnerships have been absolutely at the heart of the UNICA4EU project. The paediatric oncology community is already very well networked. The healthcare professionals work together under the umbrella of the European Society of Paediatric Oncology, or SciUp Europe. The patient, parent and survivors networks are encompassed within CCI Europe and PanCare. But we couldn't do this project without the technical expertise that has been brought by the organisations that have partnered across Europe, particularly our institutions in Spain and Italy, that have brought that understanding of what it takes to develop an AI tool, which we were completely ignorant about, and we've learned and trained in that understanding. And importantly, they've understood the challenges of paediatric oncology. And then wider than that, we've worked with Australo in terms of developing better dissemination and communication tools, so we can take the learning that we've developed and bring it to the wider community. It's too early in the UNICA4EU project to say that we've made a direct impact on outcomes for children and families with cancer. This was a pilot project that was setting the foundations of how we develop an ecosystem for AI tools to be developed in the future. But the project has had patients and families right at the heart. They've informed us about what they want, about their anxieties about AI tools, and how we need to go forward in terms of both training and education, but also building trust in the use of what is not understood by many people as to how AI works and how it can be implemented in an ethical and safe way. So the UNICA4EU initiative has been a pilot project that has brought together the multi-stakeholders to understand what is needed to develop AI tools in the future. And what this has done is built the foundations for a European childhood cancer data initiative. This will be the next step and the sustainable step, bringing together the same multi-stakeholder group to build the actual infrastructure to bring the data sets together in a federated way to ensure the accessibility of data and to address the ongoing legal and ethical framework in which we can develop AI tools that are for the benefit of children with cancer. One of the lessons we learned very early in this project is that you need to establish what you don't know, and each stakeholder needs to understand what they don't know and learn from the other stakeholders and other perspectives. The group of people that came together in UNICA4EU came from vastly different backgrounds and expertise. And over the lifetime of the project, we've come together to form a very cohesive group with one aim. And that was through a lot of hard work. And it wasn't always easy along the way, but we persisted and we listened. And that has been at the core of the project, that everybody in the project listened to each other, so that ultimately we ended up with a cohesive plan that we all could buy into for the benefit of children with cancer. So in terms of advice for future initiatives, I think one of the most important lessons that we learnt along the way is that when you start a multi-stakeholder project of this kind with people from very diverse backgrounds and very diverse perspectives, then you need to take the time to understand what you don't know, to listen to the other stakeholders and take on board their views before ploughing into the journey. And in the journey we ended up at some points with very different perspectives on how to take forward the project, understanding of the childhood cancer networks and the needs. And by the end of the project, we ended up with a very cohesive consortium where we're all moving in the same direction, bringing the diverse expertise and technical knowledge, all with the same purpose of how do we deliver AI technology for children with cancer.